Chris Charles Scott joins us on SicEm365 here in studio, who is going to direct this documentary involving the Baylor National Championship, the Bears, and how they emphatically beat Gonzaga to win it all a couple of weeks ago. Chris, good to have you in studio. Thanks for being here. You've done a few of these before.
Yes, Smokey, I have. As a matter of fact, the last time I was speaking with you, we were doing one about the history of Waco, Texas in 2017 with Hobby Howe.
That was in the Hippodrome, was it not, Hobby? Am I right about that? I think it was, and you had a nice crowd or whatever. So tell everybody a little bit about your background, and obviously if they don't know who you are.
Yeah, Chris Charles Scott, originally from a little town outside of Tyler, Texas called New Chapel Hill. It's where, matter of fact, it's where I met Smokey and his family in their Tyler days. Graduated from Baylor in 2004. Baylor's just been a huge part of my life and my friends' lives, and I don't know, when I heard that 365, you guys wanted to do a documentary on the basketball team, I'm like, I got to do this. I've been doing documentaries here now for 6 years. Directed one on HBO Max called Class Action Park, the story of the world's most dangerous water park that's done pretty well. We're 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. And after the basketball game, after we beat Gonzaga, we were all in Indianapolis, and I texted my manager. I was like, I got to do a documentary. If there's going to be a documentary done on this story, I have to be the one to do it. I will be so ticked off if someone beats me to this. And not 2 days later, I get a call from you guys that said, we want to do a documentary. And so I'm like, man, those guys are on it.
Yeah, and it's going to be amazing. And I remember the Hippodrome and the work you did on the history of Waco, Texas as well. You graduated, by the way, political science from Baylor.
Political science from Baylor University.
And also attended seminary at Princeton as well.
I was kicked out of Princeton after a semester.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one more semester than I made at Princeton.
Yeah,
so.
Did they reach out to you or as far as to get there? Because I never got the letter from anybody in the Ivy League.
I said, I thought I came to Baylor growing up outside of in East Texas, outside of Tyler, Texas. I thought that I was going to come to Baylor to be a Baptist preacher. And just life happens. I live in Las Vegas now, so that took a turn.
Tyler, Las Vegas, Waco, Las Vegas.
Baptist preacher.
Yeah, same thing.
It all ties together.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, just the journey. I mean, obviously the journey inspired the idea to do the documentary. But as a Baylor alum, as a fan, I mean, to see how special this run was, I mean, what was that like for you?
I worked in Patton F. Hall when the whole Dennehy tragedy happened. Mm-hmm. I worked in the Larry Brumley, he was a VP of External Communications or something like that. And I saw firsthand that story unfolding. I would be in Patton F. Hall. You see Coach, can we say Coach Bliss' name? We got to beep that out.
Yeah, you could.
I would see Coach Bliss coming to Patton F. Hall. We knew something was happening, and then the hammer dropped. Mm-hmm. And Baylor became our name, our heritage, our traditions that we held so dear here in the Baylor community, it was shattered nationally. And we saw no way up after that Bliss era. I mean, murder in a basketball program, a coach doing nefarious things to cover that up. I'm surprised we didn't get the death penalty. Mm-hmm. And so to see us at the bottom of no program has gone from that low to that high with the same coach, the same program. This is made for Hollywood, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
No, it is. And when I saw the thread put up, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and I didn't know exactly what it was going to be about, but obviously there's a story to tell because you can't discuss the fact that they won a national championship. And even a lot of the stories, because we've discussed that 100 times, as far as 2003 and all that stuff before it. But then the national people get involved, and then they want to discuss it. And it's one of the greatest. It's not even a renovation because there was nothing to renovate. Basically.
There was nothing to renovate.
Like tornado had come through.
It was the equivalent of the 1954 tornado that ripped through Waco. That I wouldn't even call it a scandal. There's not a word to put into context what that was at Baylor. It was, you would walk around with a Baylor shirt like in Dallas or DC. I was interning in DC. You walk around with a Baylor shirt, they'd be like, "Ugh, are you gonna kill somebody up here today?" Like it was, just people just being buttholes. But that's how deep our name was in the mud, and the Baylor brand was in the mud. Imagine what I could not imagine them getting recruits to come to Baylor after that. But what a luck of the draw, us getting Scott Drew my senior year at Baylor, and then 2 or 3 weeks ago, he's hoisted the national championship trophy. You cannot put that into context properly just by speaking it. You have to see this story unfold.
Again, Chris Charles Scott with us on SicEm365 Radio. So I've seen many documentaries. I've seen some of what other networks do. And it's not just about the night they win the national championship. It's like what you said. So how in the hell do you piece all this together? I mean, do you start putting up like pictures of segments and then you decide what you can do? I don't even know how. You know how it's going to start?
Yeah, it starts with a strong cast, and we've been very fortunate that the connections with 365, my connections to Baylor, Hobby House connections to Baylor, we all have these connections to the people that we need to tell this story. So it starts with a strong cast because the story tells itself. This is probably this will be the easiest documentary that I've ever done, because when you start doing a documentary, you have to wonder, how does this end? Scott Drew and the basketball team, they wrote our ending in Indianapolis a few days ago.
Would you have been able to do this had they lost to Gonzaga?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It would have been oh, that was nice. Maybe next year.
Or whenever that happens.
Or whenever it happens. No, we could not have sold this. This would not be, we want to get this widely distributed. We want this to be on a Netflix. We want this to be on a Hulu or an HBO Max. And they're not going to buy a story where we almost won. Mm-hmm. Like we came close to winning. No, this was the year. This is the year to do it. And the fact that we're moving so quickly, it's a testament to you guys' influence in the Baylor community, the trust that people have with you guys, with the story of Baylor sports, the fundraising I hear. Colt hits me up every morning. We've raised this much, and it jumps significantly every day. And so the Baylor community, the Baylor fans, they want to see this happen just as much as anybody. And this is being funded through Baylor and Baylor's fans, and that gives us the autonomy to tell this story like it needs to be told. Yeah,
and here's there is a thread that is in the premium section about the documentary, and there's an update on occasion as well. So I'm trying to find out. Yeah, this was from Wednesday. They have, I think at the time, they were near $40,000, and they had something. And there's also a $10,000 match added to that total. So they're about halfway to where they need to be.
Yes.
And what you want to do is go on SicEm365.com, and there's a SicEm365 store, and it shows what you could do to get on $10.
$10.
$10,000,
Yeah.
$400, whatever it might be, it all adds up into what everything needs to be able to have time, the work, the travel, and everything else in between.
Yeah, because one of the things we do want to cover, we want to go to Valparaiso. We want Coach Drew's story is just as much as important as the Baylor basketball story. It might be the Baylor basketball story. And so we want to tell the stories of how both Baylor and Scott Drew came to be in each other's lives, and just the magic that's happened with that union. And so we're going to be able to do some cool things with the amount of money that we've raised now. That's an excellent start. We want to have this thing. We want to start filming this thing in May. If we hit our fundraising goals of 100K, we can start filming this thing by Memorial Day, which is our goal. And we want to have this thing wrapped up in the can as early as September, before the beginning of the basketball season.
When they start practicing, and of course their first game most likely would be the first week in November or so. You can contribute $10 all the way up to whatever you want, obviously $500. There is a large number, And so if you want to put more into the bag with that, that's great as well. It's SicEm365.com. Go to the premium section or text me or tweet me if you want me to try to get you in touch with the right people.
So the main part of this will be Scott Drew and the Baylor basketball story, but I was just thinking, what a cast that you have in place with the players on this team, potentially. I mean, just the personalities and, the Davion Mitchells, the Matthew Myers, all those types of guys. I mean, this wasn't just a good team. This was a fun team. This was a team that loved each other, and then the fans could feel that love and then love them in that same kind of way. I mean, how much does the cast matter in this and that impact?
This team is special. Of course, they're the national champions,
right.
But it was so funny how connected you are to this team.
Right.
Like, you feel like they're your homies. You feel like they're your boys. When they go down, you feel like you go down. Like, after the game, Indianapolis, not a good nightlife city. We leave the stadium and we have 30 minutes to go drink and celebrate. But as we were walking from the arena to the Lane Bar District in Indianapolis, Baylor fans were yelling at each other, "Hey champs, hey champs, hey champs." And when someone said, "Hey champ," I felt like I'd won something. Like, I felt like I was on the court winning something. And so also this just goes to show that this unity, this camaraderie among the Baylor community. I feel like we've always been champions. That's cliche, but the fact that this pivotal year, this crazy year of COVID, this year where Baylor has done some self-reflection about its own past and some of the dark stages of that past, this feels like this is a fresh beginning, a new beginning for our university, not just in the athletic programs, but as a whole. Like, this Baylor community has come together, recognized some things in the past that wasn't so pleasant, and look at us now. Like it was black, white, Hispanics, everyone. Hey champ, hey champ, hey champ. I'm here in town today because my cousin, who's a junior, plays basketball in Rowlett. She wants to come to Baylor. And so we're down here giving her the campus tour. I don't think I've ever would have gotten any of my younger cousins to even consider Baylor, but this is it. This is a new beginning for us and for our university.
Because it's a documentary, it's about the real people, right?
It's about the real people.
You're not going to have to worry about who plays Scott Drew or anything like that.
No.
This is Scott Drew will be the one, or whoever it might be, from Jerome Tang to players to former players, whether now in Europe or who are a part of this particular team. So this will be real life people. That's the one advantage, correct, to do a documentary?
Yeah, and this is not fiction. I mean, this is not.
Yeah. There's no Hollywood to it.
Yeah, Matt Damon is not going to play Scott Drew. Morgan Freeman is not going to play Tang. Like, this is real life people. Their real life story, and you cannot make this up. These are scripts. You give this to Disney in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's up there with the Mighty Ducks and the Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
This feels fictitious, but it is real with real people, a real story, and a real championship at the end.
Brandon, by the way, just sent me a text. He goes, "I don't see the link," so I just sent Brandon you the link. It's in the if you want a copy of it, just let me know. But it's in the SicEm365 store. You go to where it's all the way to the top. You have all the various things. It says more. You go all the way down, all the way through, and one of them says store.
There's tabs at the top of the page.
You could be,
and one is more.
Could
Click
be
the more
clothing.
tab.
It could be apparel. And tabs is the right word. And Brandon, thanks for asking. I just sent you the text and a link back as well.
And Smokey, can I say, your fans, your listeners, you guys are crazy good. When I was approached, I get approached with documentary opportunities all the time. We want to do a documentary about this. Want to do a documentary about this. I'm like, well, how are we gonna do it? Well, we'll seek around for stuff. You guys got started fundraising like on day one. And for us to be at this position where we are ready to start rolling cameras, your fan base, unbelievable.
No, in a lot of ways. Yeah, I mean, they are. They're very, very active. There's an unbelievable passion. And, again, there might be sometimes that message board could be a daycare as well. and right now, of course, it is. But in a lot of ways, because people care.
Yeah.
It's not, if they didn't care, they wouldn't get on there.
Absolutely.
And it is on SicEm365.com, which is
Yeah,
the
and
umbrella of what we do.
Rather than going through the tabs, it's just SicEm365.com/store.
Yep, and then
That's
it'll
just
help
where you go.
It'll be 4 or 5 options, apparel, things like that, and then you can find down at the bottom it says documentary. Click on that; it goes straight to the donation levels of $10 all the way to $500 or whatever else you want to be able to do. And it does need more money. There's no fundraising needed, and of course chunks are great. Anything is great, and there's certain ways that if you're on SicEm365.com, I saw this, and I hope I'm right here, is that based on your level of contribution, you get like a certain color star now next to your name, like silver or gold or whatever it might be. So that's also a part of that as well. So you want this to start Memorial Day weekend, so there's about 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
No, less than that.
Yeah, we need you guys to really step up. I know you guys will. We want to. This story is timeless, but to get the types of national and global audience we want on this, we have to tell this story this year. It has to be distributed this year. It has to premiere this year. And so I have a couple of projects going on now with other studios, but those things have been put on pause for us to get this out. This is the year to do it. This is the timing to do it. And so we're moving forward. Like, this thing's happening. And to all the Baylor fans, jump on this bandwagon. Let's tell this story. To have this story nationally distributed on a major distributor, that would be awesome. This story is so anti, like, UT Austin, right?
Yeah.
UT Austin, they have been trying to throw money at their problems for years. You know, throw money at Shaka Smart, throw money at football coaches. But Baylor with Scott Drew, we did it the right way. It's a process. And people at UT and down in Austin, they don't understand that this is what it takes to build a program. This is what it takes to build a dynasty. You just don't throw money at stuff and hope recruits and wins come. We did it the right way.
You know, if you look at the success of Coach Drew in the men's basketball program, it was methodical. You look at the success of Kim Mulkey in the women's basketball program. She had earlier success with the national title in 2005, but it's been methodical. Baylor's done pretty well, haven't they? When what they have, and of course, it looked like they were going to start having that in football, and then, of course, things changed as well. And
you mentioned Mulkey, like, she's a part of this she's a part of this documentary as well. We can't overlook the success that our lady basketball program and Kim Mulkey they've had. They held this program down. They held our school. They were winning. They were hanging banners before any other program was. And so, shout out to the girls and Coach Mulkey. And hopefully Coach Mulkey will participate in this project as well.
Well, have you talked to her in the last couple of 24 hours or so? Because everyone would like to know if you did.
I heard that she's been stirring up stuff around here lately.
That's the next
I don't know
segment.
how much she has really, but the stuff has been stirred regardless. Yeah.
Okay.
I had today. I had two different. One guy I have great respect for, Mike Scarborough, who covers LSU, called me. We were on the phone a couple of different times today. I would think that over the next, you would think the next couple of days we'll know what's happening with her and also with LSU and or if she's going to remain at Baylor. That's another story and another segment. We're going to get to that based on just some things that I've tried to figure out myself. So you could pitch that to her that you want her in the documentary and you need to be on campus when you talk to her.
Yeah, Coach Mulkey, if you are in Baton Rouge, get back here. We need to interview you.
I don't think she is. But at the same time, that's only a real quick flight, and she has people who can take her to where she needs to go. Anything else you want to say? Again, it's SicEm365.com/store. Anywhere from $10 to $500 on the site. But if you want to do more, you can contact Colt, Ashley, Brian. You can contact me, and I'll set you up with you, Chris,
yeah, absolutely.
or whoever as well.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, Chris Charles Scott. On Facebook, Chris Charles Scott III. Reach out to me. Talk to me. If there are suggestions that you guys have, people we need to talk with, hit us up. This is not going to be an hour and a half hype video about Baylor basketball. There's a story of tragedy, of loss, of scandal, but also of the greatest triumph a basketball program has ever experienced from the lowest of low to the highest of high. We're going to tell the whole story, and I'm happy that it's coming through 365. Of course, you guys are understanding that we cannot tell the highs without.
No, you can't. It would be
the lows.
Then it wouldn't have no integrity.
It would have no integrity.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly.
So thank you guys for thank the fans, the 365 fans. I'm actually getting text messages now from friends across the nation, L.A., Denver, Austin, saying that they're going to support. So, Mr. Pryor in Denver, we want to see your donation come through here in the next 10 minutes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And Brandon, he's looking for the link, and I got him the link, and he's gonna be a part of it. And again, it's SicEm365.com/store, and it's for the documentary that they hope to start shooting. They need to start shooting by the end of May, Memorial Day weekend, and have it released by the time basketball season starts in late October, early November, as far as the season, the schedule itself. Man, great to see you again. It was great to see you again, because I was at the Hippodrome when Hobby set that up, the city of Waco. So well done. Really, really well done. And not just that, everything else you've touched as well. So were you there when they won the state championship? You and I've talked about this before.
I was in third grade when we won.
In 89?
When New Chapel Hill Bulldogs, we won the state championship in 89. I was in third grade.
Dickie Meeks was the head coach.
Coach Meeks, God rest his soul.
Kendrick Bell, who played at Baylor, was a part of it. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I saw him at a Hall of Fame induction in Texarkana. He was a part of it. It was great. He wasn't doing real well, and unfortunately, I know his son Ricky Joe is a hell of a coach now too.
Yeah.
So
Chad Boyd from Chapel Hill, Baylor Bear.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then they came around and won it again, wasn't it?
It was 2014.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did.
They beat Henderson, I believe.
You know, I just have this championship blood oozing through my veins from my high school, from my college. And if we can get the New Orleans Saints to win a championship.
Well, they did in 09.
Yeah, you have seen one of those.
Yeah. So,
But what's the hell? Where are they? Yeah.
I am. You're welcome, Baylor, for bringing this championship pedigree.
It's a great
to
way to
Waco.
There you go. Hey, man, good to see you. Good to see you, Chris.
Smokey.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
All right. Again, SicEm365.com/store. And you could be a part if you want to contribute for the documentary about the Baylor men's basketball program and the story, and not just that program, but how all of everything else has developed along the way. And as we mentioned, the women's basketball program, when it kind of set the standard when they won it in 05, and they've won it 3 times. And then when we come back, we'll discuss that a little bit as well. Grayson Grunhafer is going to join us today at 3:45. Gil Brandt, Hall of Famer, at 4 o'clock. Tyrone Thurman at 4:40, and Sam Kahn Jr., now with theathletic.com on college football spring game weekend. He'll join us today as well. All right, Jack is here. Armstrong is here. Hobby, great to see you, my man. Best barbecue guy for the tailgate you could imagine. Hey, we're going to have a tailgate tomorrow after the spring game across at our container off of MLK at around 2:30 or so. I heard there's going to be maybe barbecue and gumbo. What a great mix, Chris. Again, great to have you. Back in a moment. SicEm365 Radio. So now, Waco Custom Marketplace, speaking of tailgate, if you